If y'all have ever seen the movie Halloween, and I'm only going to assume that most of you have, it was a line that was given by the Dr. Loomis character who said, "Behind those eyes lies evil," or something along those lines when he was referring to Michael Myers. That line could be applied to this person here known as the Coonstress. But shout out to the Resistance on Twitter for tagging me in this story that's coming from Raw Story, where this black conservative, not her, not the grifter or the con artist, but this other black conservative who is a black man, I never heard of him before, basically put the Coonstress on blast and basically saying how she is lying in an attempt to incite more racism against black people. Now, I remember I had put a tweet up on Twitter where I said most black conservatives tend to end up like being like her or Larry Elder or Herschel Walker and stuff like that. And those are the type of people I don't like. Now, there are some black conservatives out there, if they can raise their hand so I can see who they are, who aren't on the same tip as people like her. We know what she's all about. But people rarely ever call her out. But now, finally, somebody who is a black conservative is finally calling her out. And we're about to read this article and see what they called her out on. Recent tweets by conservative gadfly Candace Owens set off a black columnist at the far-right Red State website, leading him to accuse her of lying to her audience in an effort to ramp up more racism against black Americans among her predominantly white followers. Leading off with, some of you aren't going to like this one, but it needs to be said. Jeff Charles cut right to the chase and stated Owens is guilty of issuing another series of deceptive remarks about black culture on Twitter that provide yet another example demonstrating why the conservative movement in the former party of Lincoln fails to attract black voters. And you know what's so crazy what he just said? There was a tweet on Twitter last week that I came across that pretty much echoed that same statement he just made. It wasn't from him, it was from somebody else. They said there's a reason why a lot of black people don't want to go to the Republican Party or be conservatives, because they have people. Sorry about that. I had to cut myself off right quick, but I'm back. But the reason why a lot of black people don't want to be Republicans or conservatives is because people like her, the Hodge twins, Brandon Fakem, Herschel Walker, Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson, those people or Diamond Silk, they are pushed to be the black faces of the Republican Party or the black faces of the conservative movement or whatever you want to call it. And many black people don't vibe with them. And they said, if I want to be a conservative, that means I have to be attached to them, and I don't want to be attached to them. Then they'll accuse them of saying, oh, you're on a Democratic plantation. No, that doesn't mean that either, because it's like the options over there ain't even better. So a lot of black people tend to be more centered or more neutral and let the party that caters more to them, and they decide based on that. But if they had to choose a side, they wouldn't pick one because neither side is really good. But this one's, like I said, the right, the left, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, as far as I'm concerned, are two sides of the same coin. We've said that over and over again. When you really dissect many of their differences, you'll find out how much alike they truly are. But let me continue. According to the columnist who broke down Owens' tweet in a video which can be seen below, the problem with Owens is that her entire shtick is aimed at convincing her mostly white audience to view their fellow black Americans in a negative light. An issue is her attack on black culture, which she claims honestly breaks my heart. It disintegrated so quickly from topics of faith and family and love to absolute debauchery. We went from Temptations and Commodores to naked women debasing themselves in the blink of an eye. We are ruining black children with false idols. According to the Red State columnist, she is ignoring facts that undercut her argument. For starters, the idea that black music, or even music in general, only recently had problematic elements is absurd. If Owens knew anything about the Temptations, she would know that the group's lead singer, David Ruffin, was a drug addict who died in a crack house. As for the Commodores, they may have not been quite as sexually explicit as Cardi B's WAP, but old school folks know exactly what they were talking about when they referred to a woman being a brick house, he wrote. He added Owens' statements about black television are equally ignorant. Yes, there have been black television shows depicting African Americans engaging in bad behavior, but this is not exclusive to black programming. Anyone who loves Breaking Bad as much as I do knows this to be true. So basically what he's doing, he's picking apart her argument of basically her making black culture exclusive to negativity, opposed to other cultures that are more positive. And she does this in a way where she tries to make it seem like she's speaking to black people while at the same time undercutting them in a very bad way. And then when she gets to that, when that chick gets to undercutting, she doesn't stop. And like he said, she's telling this to a majority white audience. She's not talking to us. She's talking about us to them. And they revel in it. That's why they love her so much. And she's so enthralled, if I'm using the correct terminology of the word. She's so enthralled with doing this because she craves white attention so much. Y'all see now why I call her the Coonstress. She has more than earned that title from me. And she will forever have that title until the day she leaves this earth. And even after that. From me anyway. I don't know what anyone else calls her. But I know many of y'all, y'all pick up on my lingo a lot. So y'all call her the same thing. According to the columnist, Owens should be scrutinized for her constant attacks on black Americans in that she is hurting and not helping the conservative movement appeal to anyone other than white voters. She really is. Because, if they wanted their party to really move in a progressive way, which is not, then she wouldn't be doing all of these things. But the thing is, also to the people who love her so much, they keep propping her up. Remember, I did a video, I did a video about her a couple years ago, and these palm color trolls always like to come in talking about, oh, I need to stop talking about her, stop being so ignorant towards her. She's not ignorant, she's very intelligent. They like her because of the stuff she says about us. If they didn't like her, they would express as such, but it's usually always the same talking point from them. And it's because of how she talks about us. Let's continue. While she is beloved on the right, she is widely reviled by the same people she is telling you she is trying to reach. There is no chance that folks like her can bring about the Blexit she promised, he wrote before adding. The fact of the matter is that Black Conservative Incorporated cannot lead black folks from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party because their rhetoric signals that they don't respect or even like the people they claim to be trying to reach. You cannot insult people into joining your cause. Now, there is a video that's attached to this. Oh, it's okay. It says I have to watch it on YouTube. I'll watch it because the playback has been disabled on other websites. I'll probably go and check it out later. But everything that this person said, what's his name? I think they said his name is Jeff Charles. Let me make sure I have his name correct. Yes, Jeff Charles. Shout out to you for calling this out. It's probably going to fall on deaf ears. You're probably going to get some trolls coming to you saying the same things they say to me whenever I do a video about her. And they probably going to come and say some stuff about me when I say this video, because it's like whenever a black person or anyone critiques her, then, we're wrong. And I don't have nothing good to say about this woman. Anybody who knows me knows that I can't stand Candace Owens. Y'all know that. I couldn't stand from the day I first heard about her, and still to now, I still can't stand her. And she, like I said, she just goes out of her way to be the biggest, mammiest puppet for the conservative party. And she does it so well. Like he said, she has a predominantly white audience. Most of those followers on her page are palm colored. I have been blocked her, so I couldn't, anything I hear about her, I'm gonna have to hear about from the people who send me stories about her, or if she's trending on Twitter. And I realize this woman trends on Twitter at least once a month, and usually it's for something stupid she said. It's never for anything, good or anything like that. Maybe good to her, but not to anybody else. But everything that this person said was complete and utter facts. Like I said, if the conservative party really wanted black people to come over and be, a part of their little crew, for whatever the case may be, she's not helping it. People like her aren't helping it. She's actually hurting it. But see, the thing is, they probably know that, but they love her so much from a distance that they won't do anything to get rid of her. They would probably figure she falls flat on her face so they can have a reason to get rid of her. But then all they're going to do is replace her with someone equally or even worse than she is. Then, and at that point, will Candace Owens truly have her nigga moment. But I keep telling people, her wake-up call is going to come from them. That's who's going to give it to her. And I can't wait for the day. She's had little sprinkle moments here and there, but that big one, oh, that thing is going to hit like an atom bomb. And I can't wait for when that happens. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you have texted the number to be a part of the community so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video or go live.